and gorgeous creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. So, it's that time of year where left and right people are talking about their goals for the new year, their resolutions, and while time is arbitrary, true, a lot of people find that it is really helpful to begin new habits, new goals at the beginning of a year. If you are one of those people, I have an offering I want to make you today in this video about how you might include your relationship, not only your partnership, but also your relationship with yourself, your relationship to sexuality, as part of your New Year's resolution and part of the goals you create for yourself as you move into 2024. I have a particular way that I like to go about creating relationship goals. I like to use the 5 different areas of intimacy whenever I'm thinking about, okay, what's going to support my relationship? 5 different areas. If you want to go into a deep dive, you can check out this video. But a real quick synopsis is the 5 different areas of intimacy include emotional intimacy, being able to share your feelings, intellectual intimacy, being able to share your thoughts, knowing that you're going to be met with non-judgment and acceptance, even if the other person disagrees. Physical intimacy, which has everything to do with the physical health of your body, things like food, sleep, exercise. Sexual intimacy, all things erotic. And then finally, spiritual intimacy. And when I say spiritual, I do not necessarily mean religious. I just mean what greater meaning do you hold in your life, whether it's offering yourself to different volunteer opportunities, or maybe it is a religious pursuit for you, or maybe you are more of a mystical person. Whatever speaks to you whenever it comes to being in relationship with a greater meaning in life. That's the spiritual piece. And what you can do is go through these 5 different areas of intimacy and think to yourself, in what ways do you want to show up differently for yourself when it comes to emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, physical, sexual, spiritual intimacy? And then how do you want to show up differently in your partnership? So for some people, it might be that when it comes to emotional intimacy, they really want to work on their boundaries. They want to learn how to take care of themselves in a way that is more soothing and kind, and speaking to themselves in their mind in a way that is loving. That would be great goals for the year. The next step is to actually plan items, like things you will do, behavioral changes that are going to meet that goal. There is no way that you are going to be able to really achieve these goals that you have for yourself unless they are clear, actionable, and hopefully measurable changes that you make in your life. So if you were going to, say, practice boundaries, I love boundary work. It's one of my favorite things. If you are somebody who's interested in working on boundaries, then check out my online course that takes you through the 4 different kinds of boundaries there are. There's a link below. And if you go through that, I promise you will have the skills you need to really practice healthy boundaries in the new year. But if you are going to practice boundaries, and say you decided, I am going to work on my psychological boundary, the boundary that allows my thoughts and another person's thoughts to be different, and yet we can still be in relationship, then the action item might be every single day, 5 times a day, for the whole month of January, I'm going to picture my psychological boundary between myself and others. That is a great action item. And that would be a very easy way to begin shifting your relationship to emotional well-being in the new year. If, say, you're wanting to make goals around sex, then it might be that this year you start practicing a solo sex intentional practice, where once a week you set a 20-minute timer and you spend that time exploring your own body, building up an experience of pleasure, being in non-judgment and true acceptance of whatever internal experience comes up as you begin to step into more and more pleasure. That is one of the best ways that you can actually begin to bring in more eroticism, more turn on, more sexual play into your life, is by creating a 20-minute weekly practice that you keep doing. And I don't think it's something that you ever have to stop. I know I'm going to do my sexual practices for the rest of my life, partly because it nourishes me and partly because I know there's always something new to learn. Sex, if it stays stagnant, it's not fun. And so allowing yourself to be in these different play spaces. When it comes to the other forms of intimacy, it would be a question of what do you need in order to take care of yourself? For me, I know whenever it comes to like physical intimacy, I'm going to be eating a little different in the new year. And I'm going to be getting better sleep in the new year. These are goals that I have. And then the action items would be, okay, so what does that mean, eating better? How many grams of protein am I going to make sure I get every day? If I'm sleeping better, what does that mean? Is there a certain time I'm going to go to bed, or is there a certain number of hours that I intend to sleep? You have to ask yourself these questions so that you can make really clear goals for yourself in the new year. And then once you have your personal goals, what I suggest doing is going to your partner and asking, are there goals that we want to have as a couple together? When it comes to emotional intimacy, are there goals that we want to discuss with each other? Maybe this year you want to work on being more vulnerable and coming to each other whenever there's something that's painful happening to you. Or maybe this year you want to work out together. And that would be part of the physical intimacy journey that you choose to support each other in. Being aware of how you're going to bring your relationship on board to support your intimacy experience is going to be so important. And so talking to your partner about what kind of experience do we want to have in 2024 together around these 5 areas of intimacy. And of course, if there's other goals that you have that fall outside of the intimacy category, look at those too. Maybe this year you're really wanting to travel more together, or maybe this year you're really wanting to pursue new careers. Talk to each other about what you really want, not only for yourself, but for the relationship. And so really there'd be 3 different levels of New Year's resolutions, New Year's habits, whatever you want to call it. 1 for yourself, 1 for your partner, and 1 for the relationship together. If you have more than 1 partner, then there's going to be more than just those 3. But start being curious now so that whenever you go to your partner and you suggest, let's come up with a plan for the new year, you already have an outline of the different areas you're going to look at and create goals within. New Year's are such an important time for people because it's like a new beginning. Granted, I know it's arbitrary, it's just the beginning of a calendar year, but there's something important in the symbolism of a fresh start. If you set yourself up now, knowing what you want to create in 2024, it is so much more likely that you will have all of the things that you are hoping for as you move through this life, because you will have already begun the steps to get there. Remember to leave me comments, share some of your goals. I am sure that other people on this channel would get some inspiration if you are willing to share some of the things that you're working on this year. Nope, I already said that. You got it. Leave comments. Remember to like this video, subscribe to Practice Intimacy for more content like this, and I will see you next time.